So it seems that a lot of people didn't like the PS5 design, which really surprised me because the PS5 to me at least looked really cool. It's sleek, futuristic looking, and the blue lights packaged into one fine looking system. To me anyways. So the PS5 was finally revealed after what felt like months of waiting for Sony to showcase their next-gen console, and of course those sweet PS5 games. Now going into this event, I didn't expect to see any huge graphics or games like we saw with the Unreal Engine 5, but man, some of these games did look amazing, so let's talk about the PS5 reveal and my overall thoughts. So first up we have to talk about Ratchet Clank Rift Apart, because this is the first PS5 game that had my mind swirling on the possibilities of what the PS5 could do with the SSD. The amazing graphics and environments aside, the rifts that Ratchet opens up and hops into a new level felt instantaneous. I'm pretty sure the spots where Ratchet and Clank are in some sort of subdimension in space before they hit the next area is probably where the PS5 is going to use its chance to load the next world, and holy crap, it does it really fast, specifically where he starts riding the dragon. And that seemed to be just the beginning, because when they go into actual gameplay, the PS5 seems to be loading chunks of the world instantly all throughout the gameplay with this new rift power that Ratchet has. Next up we have to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn 2 Forbidden West, which looks plain gorgeous. We didn't get full gameplay for this game, but we did get a look at the environments and Aloy herself, and even some of the machines, which I have to say also look amazing and giant and just plain, well, amazing. Now what I gathered from this trailer is that we'll be visiting multiple areas that include deserts, forests, snowy mountains, and even some underwater exploration. I also think the map is going to be a huge map because we can see Aloy riding a beast, which makes me wonder if we'll have mounts to travel across this huge map that's going to be in Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Not only that, but Aloy herself still keeps the look of her from Horizon Zero Dawn 1, but still being graphically impressive. I'm ready to see full-length gameplay of this game. And next up we have a big one, and that's Resident Evil 8 Village, which seems to take a more mystical and supernatural take around this time. In the trailer we can see things from witches to werewolves and other supernatural beings, which all give off a feel of Resident Evil 4/Resident Evil 7 vibe to me, which again didn't really show too much gameplay, but I'll address that soon. And next up we have something that really surprised me and I didn't think it would be here, and that's Spider-Man Miles Morales, which seemed to be an expansion for Spider-Man PS4, not PS5, which will most likely serve as a bridge between Spider-Man PS5 and Spider-Man PS4, kind of like how we had Infamous First Light lead into Infamous Second Son, which ironically Second Son launched with the PS4. Now Miles Morales has always been an odd character even in the comics. It's like they didn't know exactly what to do with him, but as we've seen with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, there are ways you can really make him his own character without following Peter's path. And it also seems they'll be showcasing some unique powers too, which include his electricity and invisibility. He also swings differently from Peter. It's more close to the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales than anything that we've seen from Peter in Spider-Man PS4. Now again, we didn't see any gameplay or full-length gameplay like Ratchet and Clank, so I guess we'll have to wait for that. And next up we have Demon's Souls, which I guess the only thing you can really say about this is that it looks amazing. I love these kind of games where it takes skill and you need to learn how to defeat your enemies, and you die a lot of times, but you go back and learn more. So I'm looking forward to this game, and we'll definitely be picking it up, which is much as I can really say about this game because they didn't show any gameplay. Another surprise I didn't expect was Sackboy. I feel the platformers on PS5 and even Xbox to some extent don't really get a chance to shine. It's usually Nintendo which has the best platformers, and the fact that we're getting a new platformer on a PlayStation console is fantastic, and I really hope we can create our own levels. This makes me wonder if Crash Bandicoot is getting a new game too, because that's another one that needs to come back. Oh, and of course Spyro. We also got a new Hitman 3. Now as I've said during the PS5 stream, I've never played any of the Hitman games, but I do love stealth games, so I guess now's the time to try out all the Hitman games before Hitman hits PS5. No pun intended right there. Now this game doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look next gen, and it's not really too surprising seeing as the start of a new gen, you have very few games looking next gen. Next up we have an indie game that just looks very amazing. So I'm a huge fan of these artistic games, and this game looks like you're playing a Pixar game, and that's really cool. Not only that, but the game and the combat looks fast and fluid and has some weight to it when you strike the enemies, which to me is very important in games like this. One game that gave me Final Fantasy vibes was Project Athia, which seems to be a fantasy action RPG game that has some really cool movement mechanics and magic which you can use against your enemies. As an RPG fan, I'm always up for these kind of games, though I'd like to see more gameplay. Speaking of RPG games and action games, Ghostwire Tokyo looks amazing. This looks like a game that I'm definitely into. It seems that you have these special sign attacks, you attack these mystical creatures that apparently are attacking Tokyo, which seems to be, from the gameplay anyways, crazy and fun. We didn't get any details about the specific mechanics of the gameplay, but from what we saw, it looks like it's going to be really fun. Now, there were other games like Goodbye Volcano High and that Fruit Monster game that were really weird, but the rest were either smaller games or games that didn't really sell me, like Godfall, which seemed to be just a bunch of clips of one attack with different armor, which was honestly pretty boring. Now, one thing you have to remember at the start of every gen, there's always going to be that transition phase to the current gen to the next gen, so we're not going to see all these crazy graphics like we saw at the Unreal Engine 5 just yet. Now, some games will look like that, mostly the first party games like Horizon Zero Dawn and Ratchet Clank, but essentially we're going to have a mix of both. That being said, games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Ratchet Clank, and Resident Evil 8 all look amazing. It does feel a bit like next gen, which is no surprise considering the people making it. That being said, I feel that a lot of these games needed more gameplay. Though the gameplay we did get did look amazing, I feel like it left me wanting more, and I think that was Sony's goal. They wanted people wanting more because according to the PlayStation blog post when this was first announced, there is going to be more events, which I will of course be streaming. Now, speaking of the PS5 design, I honestly love it. It looks futuristic, it looks like a new console, but one of my concerns is putting it on its side. Can we do it or not? Because honestly, I'd worried if it gets knocked down or not. That aside, Sony did reveal their digital-only PS5 before Microsoft revealed theirs, which is a huge move by Sony. There's no price yet though, so it really makes me wonder how much it's gonna cost. Overall, this presentation was really good, a very solid showing off by Sony of some next-gen games, current-gen games, and games that we're gonna be playing on the PS5. We saw some new IPs, some old IPs, and some returning IPs, and a lot of cool indie games too, not just the big flashy games. Now we just have to wait to see if Microsoft sticks their landing at their event. Come on, Microsoft, you can do it. I want to see Fable. So what did you think about the PS5 reveal event? Maybe you liked the PS5 design like me, or maybe you didn't. What was your favorite game shown? Tell me in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more PS5 news and videos, and even Microsoft and Nintendo content. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.